99.9% of creatives feel stuck because they are avoiding what they already know. How many times have you been, quote, waiting for clarity, only for clarity to arrive and be like, oh, great. I'm just gonna wait for one more sign to validate that this is the clarity that I needed. I'm gonna wait for clarity on the clarity that I received when I was waiting for clarity. You see how insane it is, but I've done this so many times before ever taking a step towards embodying the life that I crave. I would just keep waiting for more validation of what I already knew because I was scared of actually doing it because it's scary to step towards your dreams. So if that sounds like you, I want to help speak to how to get unstuck as a creative. And if you're new here, my name's Kev. I'm an award-winning furniture designer, did some cool architectural stuff as well, still doing that. And now I help ambitious creatives really get into their bodies, become emotionally intelligent, and build something of true value and impact to the world. So, here's what you can do to get unstuck as a creative. Do it anyways. It's as simple as that, but simple's not easy, right? So that's step one. I want to talk about step 0. Because everyone and their mothers can say, do it anyways. But nobody actually teaches us what it means to cultivate the safety required to potentially fail, right? We need to be able to honor what's happening inside of our bodies, what's coded inside of our nervous system, understand it, so that we can hold that as we take the step, potentially fail, so that we can learn, recommit, fail again, recommit, learn, grow, all of those things. Because so long as you are just acting continually from a place of avoidance, of really addressing what's happening in your body, not really getting down to the core fears and liberating yourself from them by loving them, you're in the same holding pattern as not taking any steps because of avoiding the same fear of wanting to start in the first place. So I am a huge proponent of embracing your fears lovingly. Embracing your fears doesn't mean getting on the motorcycle and doing a 20-foot Evel Knievel jump or whatever, or going 160 miles an hour on a 2-lane road with a crop top shirt on. I've done that before, I will not do it again. Embracing your fears means feeling into the body, not the manifestation of the fear. The fear might be presenting itself as failure in starting a business, being rejected by a beautiful woman at the coffee shop, or feeling like it's not all going to work out in the future and you're going to end up homeless wrapped in a blanket waiting at the DMV. But what's actually happening inside of the body doesn't really care about the context. It's the real physiological reaction that's running through your body. That's the fear. And it can be boiled down to something so much more simple and digestible. Now again, simple's not easy, right? But our core fears tend to revolve around not being good enough, there not being enough, or not worthy enough, right? There's more, of course, but when we can really sit and feel into our body like, oh, this is my nervous system reacting to me not feeling worthy of X, Y, and Z, so why would I take the step, make the decision, move towards it if I don't feel worthy of it, right? So step 0 is to really acknowledge what's happening inside of your body. Realize that that blockage is there for a reason so that you can become free. Your fears present themselves to you and it might seem like it's crippling anxiety and like you can't move forward, but what the fear is actually showing you is the doorway of how to move forward. It's like, hey, you need to learn to love me in order to take the next step. Or else I'm just gonna feel like a big monster to you, but that's not what I am. Often our fears are just misunderstood, you know? They're not the obstacles, they're the way. I'm sure like there's so many stoic quotes around that, but there's so much truth there, right? the way forward to the life that you crave isn't as easily accessible as just do it. You have to be able to do it while you've honored why you haven't done it yet. Because that's a huge amount of grief for a lot of people, is if I take this next step, I'll have to feel all of the grief for not doing this sooner. I'll have to feel all the frustration, the resentment, the whatever, because why didn't I just do it in the first place? And that's very real and valid, and I want you to know that the timing is always right. Of course, the best time was 20 years ago, but the second best time is right now. Because you're only ever right where you are, and until you get straight with that, you are going to be just separate from your potential as a creative. There's no such thing as doing it, as moving forward, until you reconcile your past, get into the present psychological time, which is actually the time of the body, right? And then from there, you're more resourced to move forward boldly. So we're stuck because we avoid what we know. We avoid what we know because it's scary, because there's an emotion there. And whenever you're stuck, there's an emotion stuck. So what you're being called to really embrace is the underlying emotion that you will have to confront if you move towards your fear, if you do the scary thing. That's just the admission price to the next step of the life you dream of. And you'll have thousands and thousands of opportunities to embrace different emotions along your life's path. But the one that's right in front of you is what you already know. You don't have to wait. And there's a difference between passive waiting and active waiting. Passive waiting is I'm waiting for something to save me. I'm waiting for something to hit me in the face and tell me what to do. Active waiting is, I'm actually connected to myself, and I'm going to be patient and open, yet I'm going to keep gently walking. I'm going to take a break when it feels right, but I'm just going to keep gently moving in that direction. And because I'm open and attuned, I can receive what I am designed to receive when the moment happens. Clarity is found through movement, not stillness. And I know that's contrary to what so many ancient texts and shit say. I don't give a damn. My experience, and you can take it or leave it, is only when I am in my body, using my body, and making mistakes, also taking space, but moving at a pace that my nervous system is okay with, do I find that clarity comes, because it's really cultivated, not found. It's not somewhere out there waiting to embrace you. It's somewhere inside of yourself that you have to learn to access, and you have access to it, we just forget the way. So we feel stuck because we already know the next thing that we should do, ought to do, must do, can do, whatever the phrase is, whatever the verb, but we avoid it. And so we push down the emotion even further, and it becomes harder to access our aliveness, which makes it harder to create the life that we want, which creates more dissonance and separation, which leads us to just spiral and spiral and spiral and spiral. And I don't want you to do that. And coming from someone who's done that for years and years and years and years, I want to help you just become more open and free. So the way out is through, and you just have to do the scary thing anyways. But before you do any of that, you have to take a step, ground, and get very real with what it is that you're avoiding. What emotion are you being called to address? What is your core fear? How can you love it, give it a hug, embrace it, create space to feel it, and then take the smallest little itty-bittiest step that you can in the direction of your desires, and realize it's not linear. You might take a step in a different direction right after that one. Or you might step out and there might be a car coming by and it's really scary, so you take a step back. Metaphorically, please, that's not a real example. But from there and only there do we get unstuck, because we create connection to our aliveness. And without connection to what is happening inside of our bodies, we are significantly lacking the resources to create the life we crave. This is why people can create good lives but not great lives, because you can get really, really, really proficient at being a limited version of yourself, or you can be a broken, fucked up, imperfect version of a really expanded, unlimited self and live a great life. With all of its challenges. It doesn't mean someone's here to hand you your 1983 Mercedes 240 diesel in mint condition with 0 miles on it. No, but it means that you realize your power and your capacity to create the life that you crave and how close and intimate that is, and you also realize it's going to be messy. And so all of that to say is, if you feel stuck, I invite you to consider that you already know, you've just buried it, you've complicated it, you've muddied it, you've lost connection with yourself, and the path, step 0 to the dreams that you want, is to reconnect with yourself, cultivate intimacy with your emotional state and your aliveness, allow the space to move through whatever wants to move through you, find clarity in that movement, and take the most connected step you can in this moment. And it might feel vague and confused and muddy, but at least you fucking made a decision. As someone who's indecisive, this has become, or used to be indecisive, language. As someone who used to be limited by indecisiveness, I just discovered that it was freeze in my nervous system. So now, when I'm frozen, I can allow myself to breathe, to uncover what's I'm numbing myself to, so that I can create some movement, and then from there I'm like, oh, I'm safe to fail because I'm connected to myself and I know that this is available to me. If I lose myself, I'll find myself. So for what it's worth, thank you for listening. If you want just an even deeper dive in some real practical experiments you can be implementing into your everyday life to become more embodied, check out the Embodied Creator Toolkit. Link is in the description. And sign up to my newsletter. It's free. A lot of people are loving on that, so I think you will too if you're here. In the meantime, please subscribe if you haven't. Appreciate you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!